Good morning. Late morning. Good morning on this Thursday, July 4th, 2024. What they call Independence Day. Well, it was Independence Day for some, not for everybody. And what exactly does independence mean in this context? See, there's always context missing. Whether it's context missing about black on black crime, whether it's context missing about, Independence Day, there's always context missing. Ain't that something? Who in the Independence Day was it? July 4th. Well, I think we all know that. Give y'all a minute to get in here. It's quite the beautiful day. It's hot, but not too hot. It's humid, but not too humid. Not too humid. But I did make sure I had a cap on this time because, I ain't trying to get no goddamn, because how damn high my cheekbones are right now. Whenever I have my face out in the sun, it's like this part gets darker than the rest. And yeah. It makes me look crazy as hell. But y'all, let me know how y'all so-called Independence Day is going so far. And I'm gonna just get into this. This channel is not a boxing channel, but I do like this to discuss certain things in the boxing world because I do love boxing, and I love boxing, and hell, I want to talk about it sometimes. And if you go back through the history of my channel, you'll see, if you go years back, you'll see me discussing some boxing. And like I said, that's just because I love it. And then, because this is not a boxing channel, I don't get into all the boxing stuff, but I do like to highlight certain things within boxing that I find interesting. And this whole thing with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is, needless to say, very interesting. And I have my own ideas and my own thoughts about everything around that, right? The drug cheating, Ryan Garcia's antics, getting my squats in. Ryan Garcia's antics leading up to the fight. Ryan Garcia's antics after the fight. Him popping dirty and his antics in regards to that. I like to discuss shit. I even discuss certain things surrounding Devin Haney's fight with Regis Prograis. Right when he had that fight with Regis Prograis, I thought it was very interesting how certain people started coming out to attack Devin Haney after that. Namely, Boxing Ego, right? Because I used to enjoy watching Boxing Ego's channel. He had good content. He gave unbiased reports. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all. I mean, he had some corny shit going on, right? But for the most part, he was knowledgeable and somewhat entertaining. So when I started seeing him shift, I talked about that. So, and if you go back a year or so ago, I talked about Devin Haney in relation to Demetrius Bivol and how they have similar fighting styles, or not really similar styles, but similar ways they go about winning a fight, right? Where they focus on boxing, they focus on clean combinations, they focus on, they're not really focused on knocking people out. They're focused on winning the fight through boxing. And so I talked about how Demetrius Bivol doesn't get the hate Devin Haney gets for doing the same shit. So, you know, every now and then I'll come out and I'll talk about boxing. I think I talked about I don't know. I think I talked about Deontay. Sprinkled here and there are some boxing content for me. But again, this is not a boxing channel. So, you know, I don't expect a bunch of people to come to my channel expecting to get boxing news or information. But those who do come, hey, they come through, they get the content, and it is what it is. But of course, because of how viral this whole situation is with Ryan Garcia being on PEDs. Oh shit, hold on. Let me not do too much. I don't have to go all the way down for the cramp. Anyway, because of how viral everything surrounding Ryan Garcia cheating, right, using PEDs became, you know, you get some traction, right? I got a little bit of traction covering this situation. And the reason I covered the situation is because, not because Ryan Garcia cheated, right? Because how many people have cheated in the sport of boxing, right? Many people have cheated in the sport of boxing. You know, it's been known by the public, right? And I'm not doing the sunken cost fallacy where I'm saying, oh, well, there are a lot of cheaters already in boxing. It doesn't matter if Ryan, nope, that's not what I'm talking about. Because everybody who cheated needs to be punished for it. They need to suffer the consequences for it. Point blank period, I don't care who you are. Black fighter, white fighter, brown, orange, you know, purple, candy stripe. Doesn't matter what type, who you are. If you cheat, you deserve to get punished for it. And, you know, when you get caught cheating, the proof is already there. The proof is in your sample, popping dirty, right? Something showing up in your system that should not be there. Now, from that point, you have an opportunity to, you know, say that, to prove that you do not have the intent on doing so. So there's that. But Ryan Garcia never did that. Not in the right way. How'd he do it? Well, he blamed it on everybody except for himself. He just picked certain shit. Like, it was arbitrary, right? He did not, nothing that, no one or nothing that he blamed could be taken seriously just because of the way he presented it. You know what I'm saying? The way he presented it, like it was a fucking joke. And you know what? People started coming out and defending Ryan Garcia, right? Defending Ryan Garcia, not because they rock with Ryan Garcia, but because they hate Devin Haney. For whatever reason, they hate Devin Haney. And I'm talking about the casuals that come through and they watch these particular channels, like Showbiz, The Man Child, South Sucker, Boxing No Go, Fanon. These cats that push these narratives to sow hate toward the Haneys, that's where they're getting it from. But I have to question what is motivating these channels to go so hard against Devin Haney, you know? And what ends up happening is they get these talking points, right, from these creators. They get these talking points from these creators, and they go to other channels spewing these talking points, even if they don't make no fucking sense, right? Like, a number of people have gone to channels like Champside, shout out to him, Blue Blood Sports TV, shout out to him, 78 Sports TV, shout out to him, BFTB, shout out to him, Aki TV, Dante's Boxing Nation, shout out to all these guys. Because they come out and they speak truth in regards to this situation, right? When they present nothing but facts and opinions based on facts, they get accused of what? Being on somebody's payroll, right? Being on somebody's payroll. And if you take a step back and look at it objectively, you can kind of see where they might say something like that, because Bill Haney has a relationship with all these guys, Bill Haney has a relationship with all these guys. But so what? Other promoters and other boxers and whatnot have relationship with these guys. Deontay Wilder has relationships with a lot of the guys in the LDBC. But why does that have to automatically mean they're on their payroll? Right? Because they went to some dinner. And you know what's funny? When it comes to me, now you got people accusing me of going to this dinner with Bill Haney. They're accusing me of being on Bill Haney's payroll. And how does that even make a little bit of sense? How does that make a little bit of sense? That don't even make no sense. I don't have a relationship with these people. I don't have a relationship with Bill Haney. I don't have a relationship with Deontay Wilder. I don't have a relationship with Devin Haney. I don't have a relationship with anybody from the LDBC. I don't have a relationship with Champside. I don't have a relationship with any of these people. But here somebody comes to my comment section accusing me of being on Bill's payroll and going to dinner with Bill. Like, when have you ever seen Bill come talk to me? When have you ever seen me interview Bill on my channel? When have you ever heard me say, yo, I can call Bill anytime. I can text him. I got him on speed dial. When have you even heard Bill Haney speak my name? None of these things have happened. So I don't understand how people, do y'all have common sense? Think about it. No, you don't. What you do is you come, you see the titles on people's thumbnail, on people's channel, right? Like, you might see the title For My Life, and you might see something about Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Tank. And so you come and you watch. And because I'm speaking in favor of, the righteous side of this, which just so happens to be the Devin Haney side, y'all think automatically that I'm on somebody's payroll. Like, how does that make sense? I'm just some random truther, as some might say. My channel is not about boxing per se. It's about, exposing the truths in society and trying to help people wake up to the reality of the fact that government, all these different industries, how they work together to keep people dumbed down, to keep people in sheep mode, so that they can get away with whatever they want to get away with, right? And all these things are connected. Entertainment. They use entertainment to keep people dumbed down. They use entertainment to, reduce the possibility of an uprising. They don't want an uprising, so they use entertainment, right? Boxing is a part of entertainment. So whatever they can do to distract and divide, they'll do that. They'll use boxing, they'll use movies, they'll use LGBT, commentary, they'll use whatever they have to use, right? Because all these people work together, right? The entertainment industry, the big banks, the Federal Reserve, all those entities are aligned, right? They have cross-sectional interest. If you know what that means, you know what that means. Cross-sectional interest. That means that there is something that exists in each of those industries that are of common interest, right? They're of common interest. And a lot of the same people are in a lot of the same industries, right? A lot of the same people are in a lot of the same industries, like the big banks, big bankers, entertainment moguls, all that type of shit, government, politicians. They all have connections with each other. They all have relationships. They all, are family. You'd be surprised. If you start breaking it down and getting deep down a rabbit hole, you'll see that a lot of these people are connected. A lot of these people have ties to each other. That also applies to fighting, right? That also applies to not just boxing, MMA, the UFC, professional boxing. All these people have relationships with each other. They all get together, they all go to the same parties, movie industry, movie stars. Cat Williams told y'all about it. All these people work together, right? Because if you give them bread and circuses, they'll never revolt, right? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. But now, when it comes to things like boxing and MMA and sports in general, basketball, look at the whole thing with that one chick, that one WNBA chick, the white one, the one that everybody's coddling and protecting because people are playing basketball hard against her. Oh, they're playing tough basketball with me. It's racism, right? Meanwhile, she's getting obliterated by Asia, by fucking, what's that young lady's name? I can't think of it right now. Angel Reese. Angel Reese is, man, they're acting like the chick, Karen something, or whatever the fuck her name is. I really don't know her name right now. They act like she's the second coming of Jordan Christ. Like she's the Michael Jordan of motherfucking WNBA. No, there are plenty of basketballers in the WNBA. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. There's a lot of basketballers in the WNBA that are doing better than Caitlin Clark, was doing better than Caitlin Clark. And now they're getting attention because they're trying to bring so much hate to the black women of the WNBA that they're now getting highlighted. Oops. Everybody's realizing, like, look, man, these people are destroying this woman. Ken J was good, says, in some cases, controversy dealing with the entertainment, like with the Drake situation. Exactly. Drake and Kendrick, right? All these things are interwoven and interconnected. And that's what Kendrick Lamar was saying. That's what Kendrick Lamar was bringing to light. That's what Cat Williams was bringing to light, right? So they're doing the same thing with Ryan Garcia, y'all. They're telling y'all that it's okay for this man, for this punk, to cheat, take performance-enhancing drugs, and attempt to murder Devin Haney. They're telling you it's okay to do that. Why? Because they want us to fight about whether or not it's okay for someone to be a drug cheat in the sport of boxing. Now you got people like Floyd, what's his name? Floyd Schofield Sr. You got Floyd Schofield Sr., a former boxer, and whose son is also a boxer, Floyd Schofield Jr. You got him saying, it don't matter if a motherfucker drug cheats if you got skill. If you got skill, oh, that drug cheating ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter if he's cheating using performance-enhancing drugs. Oh, that ain't gonna matter. Oh, it didn't, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Devin didn't get out of the way to left hook and all this bullshit, right? But would that left hook have the same pop and speed without those performance-enhancing drugs? Would those left hooks have the same pop and speed without the performance-enhancing drugs? Devin did what he did. Ryan did what he did. Those are two separate things. But when you put those things together, they affect each other. Do you understand that? Y'all acting like, oh, well, you know, morning. Performance enhancing drugs has no bearing on whether or not Devin Haney got knocked down with a left hook. But you can't say that it doesn't have bearing, right? I can say that it does have bearing because guess why? He took a drug that enhances performance. So therefore, if he took drugs that had performance enhancement qualities before the fight, because guess what? He popped dirty for the sample that he gave before the fight and after the fight. So that means it was in his system at the time of the fight. So if he had performance enhancing drugs in his system at the time of the fight, guess what that means? That means that I can say that those performance enhancing drugs helped him have more pop and speed on his left hooks. And God knows what else the man took, right? I ain't forgot that the nandrolone was in the system. It's just that science and testing said that there was no indication that he got that boost in nandrolone through exogenous means, right? But he has done things to chemically tamper with his blood, right? Chemically tamper his blood, like using IV, you know, and intravenous injection, right? An IV can do a lot of different things, right? It can rehydrate you, depending on what you put in there. It can dehydrate you. It can infuse your blood with vitamins and minerals. It can also help detox your blood. Detox, what does that mean? That means that it is getting rid of the toxins in your bloodstream. So we know Ryan Garcia had an IV. We know that there was some strange yellow substance in the IV. Holy shit, hold up. The hell? Okay. God damn it. We know that there was a yellow substance within the IV drip, within the fluid in the bag, that would indicate that it's not just saline solution, because the saline solution is clear, right? So what was in that? Oh, did you put vitamin C in there too? And glutathione, right? So they said they put glutathione, and so think about this as well, y'all. Think about this. They put glutathione and vitamin C in that thing as well. But God knows if that was the only thing they put in there. But here's the thing. Glutathione is a supplement, right? Glutathione is a supplement. The question is, did he report or disclose that he took glutathione when he got that IV? Did he disclose that to the New York State Athletic Commission? Did he disclose that to the Tivada? Did he disclose to Tivada that he had glutathione in an IV? That's a supplement. Did he disclose that he had vitamin C? See, these are questions that, you know, anybody of any level of critical thinking skills would ask. But most people don't think about that. right? Most people don't think about whether or not, the glutathione in the IV drip was disclosed to the New York State Athletic Commission and to VADA. My money says it wasn't, but I don't know, right? So think about that. And he damn sure didn't disclose the IV to the New York State Athletic Commission or the VADA, because guess why? If he took that, he wasn't supposed to, and he should have got fucking popped for that. But guess what? I'm thinking he didn't disclose that because he would have got in trouble for it. Because you're supposed to get written permission by the New York State Athletic Commission and VADA, right? Well, from the New York State Athletic Commission. You have to get written approval from the New York State Athletic Commission before you can use an IV. Otherwise, it's considered physical and chemical tampering, because they understand IVs can be used for physical and chemical tampering. Chemical tampering in terms of throwing off a blood sample, right, test, or a urine sample test. We don't know. These are things, all these things play a factor, right? Oh, what a good little breeze down here, y'all. Look at that. Look at that blue sky, man. Look at that blue sky. I love it. You don't get too much of that in Cali. You get more days like this, where there's nice blue skies. The air is nice and clean. I can just feel it in my lungs, man. What a beautiful day. So anyway, so when you talk about these things, all these things affects, right? Ryan Garcia took an IV. They said it had glutathione in it. They said there was vitamin C in it. That's what the person that was giving it to him said. And he took the IV. That alone is enough to get him penalized by the New York State Athletic Commission. But did they bring that up in the hearing or in the settlement? Was that a part of the settlement? So if I'm Devin Haney, I'm looking at the New York State Athletic Commission as well. I'm looking at them, because why was that not disclosed? Why did the New York State Athletic Commission not know about that? Why didn't Haney's team know about that? Henry Garcia will tell you, oh, Bill Haney was in the room. What is Bill Haney doing in Ryan Garcia's room? Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, all these things. It just takes a little bit of common sense and critical thinking skills to just go over these things in your head. But no one uses that, not really. And when you use it, right? Because think about this. If you use your critical thinking skills and your common sense properly, you understand that Devin Haney is on the right side of this. You understand that. You understand that the Haneys are on the right side of this. They didn't cheat. Devin Haney got up like a warrior. Ryan Garcia got popped for PEDs. You know what I'm saying? All these people are going against Haney, even though he's the victim of this, right? If you use common sense and critical thinking, you have to be on the right side of this. And the right side is Devin Haney's side. That's just how it fell. That's how it falls, right? You got Tank Davis caping and capping for Ryan Garcia, said he was going to smack him if it turned out he really cheated. Well, guess what, Tank? It turned out Ryan Garcia really cheated. And when you saw him, you didn't smack him. You gave him a nice big hug. But we know that you don't smack people you say you're going to smack when you see them, right? Like Devin Haney. How you went to that club that you couldn't get into until Devin left, right? That one, you're supposed to smack him. You didn't smack him, so therefore, you're full of shit and you're fake and you're a liar, right? So if you use that logical trail, like I like to call it, I like to call it logic trails. I like to use logic trails, right? So one thing leads to another in fact. One thing leads to another in reality. If you use that logical through line to get from one reality to another, then you have what is known as a logical through line, a logic trail, right? You go from point A to point B, and then you go from point B to point C, and eventually you'll get to C. But guess what? You got to stop at every fucking alphabet before you get to Z, right? Well, what do these people do? What do the people do that cape for Ryan Garcia? They don't do that. They don't stop at every alphabet before they get to Z. They don't go from A to Z, right? One alphabet at a time. What do? They create whole other alphabets. They'll create a whole other alphabet. They create whole other lexicons just to be on Ryan's side, just to go against Devin Haney. To go against Devin Haney, they'll bend space, reality, and time to arrive at the conclusion that Devin Haney deserved to get cheated, right? Why? Well, here's an example. Here's an example of an alphabet that these people use. Sometimes it's called a red herring. Sometimes it's called attacking the straw man. But I'm going to call it creating another alphabet, right? So what they'll do is they'll say, oh, well, Ryan Garcia popped dirty for ostering, and he wasn't supposed to. Give me a minute. I'm stretching my quad on one leg. Anyway, Devin deserves it. Why? Because when he fought Regis Prograis, he came in more than 15% over the contracted weight, which is illegal in California. And guess what? Oh, the California State Athletic Commission, they must be in cahoots with Devin Haney because they didn't arrest him, or they didn't fucking take his W away, or they didn't give Regis Prograis his belt back because Devin violated the California State Athletic Commission regulation. And he needs to give Regis Prograis his belt back, right? How does that make sense? What does that have to do with Devin Haney being cheated by Ryan Garcia, who took performance-enhancing drugs? These motherfuckers created a whole nother alphabet. They pulled, right? They Thanos that motherfucker. They took the reality stone, right? And formed a whole separate reality that never existed before. and they merged universes. They had to. Because maybe in one fucking universe, Devin Haney did come in more than 15% over the contracted weight. And that might have been an actual law and regulation with the California State Athletic Commission. So these motherfuckers took our reality. They took the reality stone and they merged some other reality in some other universe with our fucking universe to create this narrative that Devin Haney came in more than 50% over the contracted weight, which is against California State Athletic Commission rules. What was it? What was it? But guess what? They didn't do it enough, right? Because in this reality, there is no such rule. There is no such rule. I went over this, right? I went through the California State Athletic Commission rules and regulations and showed y'all there is no such rule. And I also showed y'all that I was one of the first motherfuckers to bring it up, that rule was a proposed rule and it has to go through legislation. It has to go through legislation. So that's how that works, right? And y'all remember, if y'all were here, some guy came in talking about, the California State Athletic Commission is not part of the government, the state government. What? So again, some motherfucker came through with the reality stone, right? And created a reality where the California State Athletic Commission is not part of the California state government. But again, that reality stone, didn't work too well for him because in reality, the California State Athletic Commission is indeed a California state government entity. So they can't just make rules out of nowhere, right? And that's why all these ATF rules, right? ATF rules. Think about it. All these ATF rules that were proposed, but they put into play anyway, it went through the court system, and the Supreme Court said you can't do that. You can't make rules that go into effect without legislation, right? You can propose the rule, and the federal legislators, they can enter a vote at some point. They can bring it through a committee, whatever process they go through to codify something in the law. You can do that, but you can't just say, oh, well, this is a new rule, it's in effect. That's the same thing with California State Athletic Commission. That's the same thing with all state athletic commissions. If they come up with a new rule or regulation, it must become law. In order for something to become law, it has to go through the legislative process, right? All of the California state and other state athletic commissions rules are laws. Laws, they are laws, period. So that's the reality, right? But when you explain these things, when you bring these facts, because these are all fucking facts, when you bring these facts to the table, you get paid by Bill Haney. I am on Bill Haney's payroll. Me, a guy who doesn't even have 2,000 subscribers, a guy who's had 1.7 thousand subscribers for the last 3 years, for the 4 years, right? Because a guy who tried to get monetized, I wasn't really trying to get monetized. I just went through the process because I understood what was going to happen. They were going to deny my monetization, even though I met all the requirements. I had all the view hours. I had all the views that were required. I had all the hours that were required. You know what I'm saying? I had the amount of subs that were required. And they denied it. Why? Because they deemed my channel too controversial. Too controversial. Why? Well, because this was around the time of the Modelo 19 got popping, and I was on the side of facts and reality when it came, in common sense. When it came to Modelo 19, I was on the side of facts and reality. I did not believe the bullshit they were peddling. I did not approve of Donald Trump signing a $6 trillion bill into law. Even though that bill helped get me and my family paid, you know what I'm saying? They just sent shit to my account because of whatever, you know, the little stimulus checks. Even though if I had it my way and that wasn't signed into law, I wouldn't get those checks. But I understood what would come of it. I knew about the hidden tax called inflation. I knew about the hidden tax called inflation, and I talked about it. I talked about quantitative easing, right? That Donald Trump talked about. He said he wanted the Federal Reserve to initiate quantitative easing, right? But what would that do? Well, it'll bring the interest rates down, right? It'll bring it down to zero. That's what they did. They brought the interest rates down to zero, y'all. But they kept printing money, and people kept spending money. What happens when you print money and spend that money? Huh? And nothing comes back from it. Because like I told y'all before, the government doesn't produce anything, right? Printing money out of thin air when there's nothing to back it is not producing anything except for fucking debt, right? So guess what? It was time to pay the piper. It's time to pay the piper now. This inflation that we're experiencing, it started under Donald Trump, y'all. It started under Donald Trump. It just didn't go into a full effect until Biden came into office. But wait a minute. How did it start because of Donald Trump? Well, and you didn't see it? Well, here's why. I'm gonna tell y'all. I know I'm going off on some old other shit, but I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because Donald Trump printed all this money, right? And they did quantitative easing. It brought the interest rates down. People were spending money. They were taking out loans, all this other type of shit, buying houses, all that, right? But what happened at the same time? Well, we had the Exxon pipeline in construction. It was in full-fledged construction. And guess what that meant? That meant that oil futures were good, right? Not only that, we were drilling for oil off the coast of Alaska. We were drilling oil, well, no, the Gulf of Mexico. We were drilling oil in Alaska. We were producing oil, y'all. We're not producing oil. We were drilling for oil all over the place. We got to the point where we were able to start selling oil to other countries. So when this money got printed out, right? The $6 trillion, plus some more, because there were 2 more bills that came out that Trump signed in office, or signed into law. But because we had all this oil production going on, right? And yeah, it seemed like for a minute there that the government was producing something, but they weren't though, y'all. They weren't. Just because they were drilling for oil, they weren't producing shit. Because private companies actually drilled the oil. The government just gave them the go-ahead, right? Under contract. So it was a government contract. So they drilled for oil, and guess what? Because of the Exxon pipeline, oil futures were great because they knew in the future that pipeline would be completed and they can transport oil, right, from north to south, you know, and have all this oil going on, all this fucking fuel. And so guess what? That is what staved off the inflation, y'all. Yeah. That's what staved off the inflation because they had all this oil production going on. We had all this oil production going on here in the United States where we had enough to sell. So we wouldn't need OPEC no more. We wouldn't need OPEC anymore. If the shit kept going like it was supposed to, we wouldn't need OPEC no more. And see, that's why I have an issue with people saying that Donald Trump, oh, the economy wasn't good because of Donald Trump. It really was because of that, right? But it was under the Trump administration. But y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all know that I know that the left-right paradigm is a lie, right? It didn't matter whose administration it was something that was going to happen anyway because they wanted it to happen, because they wanted to give the illusion that we were living in prosperous times, that the economy was great, and it was great, but it's something that they could take away with a snap of a finger, right? They could take that away with a snap of a finger, and that's what the fuck they did. When Biden got in office, what was the first thing he did? Signed executive orders to stop oil production, cancel oil leases, stop the construction of the Exxon pipeline. He did all that. And guess what? All that shit stopped. And guess what happened then? The economy tanked, just like they orchestrated it to be. This is all orchestrated, y'all. So all the prosperous times we had during Trump, from the prosperous times to the times of the Modelo 19, to the shutdowns that led to extreme suicide rates in children and young people and adults, all the drug abuse that increased, that was all orchestrated, y'all. It was a test as well. They wanted to test our resolve to be free individuals. They wanted to test and see if we tell these people they can't leave the house, if we tell these people, you know, you can't step out, you can't be around other people, that you can't go to parties, that you can't go to school, that you have to be locked down in fear of this invisible virus, how would they react? That was the test. That was the test, y'all. That was the fucking test. So, all that shit was orchestrated. All that shit was orchestrated. But when you talk about shit like that, right? Because that's the type of shit I talk about on my channel. Typically. Let me get out this damn thing off. You know what's funny too? Some guy came and told me that I need to take this stuff off because, you know, I'm impersonating a soldier. What a fucking idiot. I'm a veteran, you idiot. Hold on. There we go. I'm a vet. So how am I impersonating anything? I'm a fucking vet, you asshat. See, people come, you don't know shit. All right, that was a good little. I avoided the cramps. Anyway. So, David Wiseman says empty stockpiles. Exactly. Well, that's strategic as well. Now we don't have any oil in the strategic reserves. He sold it. He sold and he released the oil in the strategic reserves to offset some of the inflation. Now we don't have fucking reserves. Like this, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. They're crippling us deliberately. Well, they're crippling y'all. They're crippling y'all. Anybody that relies on government to keep them safe and, secure and all that type of shit, that's who they are crippling. They're crippling y'all, right? So I say all this to say is this is what I typically go through on my channel. And the shit that's going on with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is relevant to what's going on in society because we have a bunch of people, right, that don't use common sense and critical thinking skills that are going to be a detriment to those that actually do. My mail. You non-critical thinking motherfuckers are a detriment. Y'all are a detriment to people that actually think critically, don't just go along to get along, that have their own mind. Y'all are a detriment. Y'all are a danger. You understand? That's what detriment is. If you're a detriment, you're a danger. You're a danger. So y'all come to my channel. Y'all accuse me of stolen valor. You tell me I'm on Bill Haney's payroll and I went to his dinner. You know what I'm saying? Not because it's true. Not because you even actually believe it. But because y'all ain't got shit else to talk about. Y'all don't have your own critical thinking skills to exercise. So y'all come to me and people like me to accuse us of impropriety, to accuse us of selling out, to accuse us of being on payrolls, right? Because that's, and I'm not offended, right? I'm not offended at all. That just means, see, when y'all talk about shit like that, see that when y'all launch ad hominem attacks and all that type of shit, and attack scarecrows and, I mean, not a scarecrow, but straw man, attack the straw man, and y'all chase red herrings and try to distract, when y'all spew non sequiturs. What's a non sequitur? A non sequitur is something that ain't got nothing to do with the discussion at hand, right? When you just say shit that's just random. That's what y'all do, right? What is what I'm doing? What is it me wearing a camouflage backpack with a tan shirt have to do with the military? Is that standard military uniform? Is that a regulation uniform? A camouflage backpack with a tan compression shirt? Is that part of the Army, U.S. Army regulation uniform? No, it's not. But you don't know shit, so you just gonna say shit because, oh, you ain't no soldier, take that off, man. What that got to do with anything? I mean, say what you want, but that just exposes your ignorance, right? Oh, you on Bill Haney payroll. Oh, what they paying you? Oh, yeah, you had dinner with him. What is this dinner shit? So what? So what if people had dinner with Bill Haney? What does that mean? That means that anything they say that's in favor of Bill Haney is false? It's not true? Is that what y'all are saying? No, you can't say that because you have no proof of that. That is what is known as a post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy. See, these are things that y'all should learn. When you guys want to argue and debate and prove points, right? When you come at people that you oppose and you want to be smart about it and you want to have something of substance to say, right? Those are things that you should study. Find out what fallacies are. Find out the definitions. Find out how to avoid using them, right? If you want to, if you don't want to look stupid, I'm saying, because you can be wrong, and if you don't use a fallacy when you're wrong, you can just be like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know, or okay, that's a good point, or touche. Those are things that you can actually say instead of making an ass of yourself by committing a fallacy. Find out what fallacies are. Find out what the sunken cost fallacy is. Because people like to use that a lot with Ryan Garcia, right? They use the sunken cost fallacy a lot. What's the sunken cost fallacy? I'll give you an example. Oh, well, you know, Ryan Garcia, yeah, he got popped for PEDs. But you know what? So did a bunch of other guys in boxing. And so were other boxers in the future. People are always going to use PEDs. So, you know, why are we griping about Ryan Garcia using PEDs? That's called the sunken cost fallacy, right? Well, we already have the sunken cost of a bunch of boxers using PEDs. We might as well continue to allow them to use them, right? That's called the sunken cost fallacy. That's what, you know, gamblers use a lot, right? So let's say you're gambling, you lose a lot of money. You lose a lot of money, right? And somebody tells you, you know what, man, why don't you stop, man? You just lost a shitload of money. Well, you know, you're right, I did lose a lot of money. I lost $800 already. You know, only got $20 left. I might as well just go ahead and, you know, gamble this $20. I already lost 80. What's the big deal about losing 20? That's called the sunken cost fallacy. It makes no fucking sense. It's not logical, right? These are known as logical fallacies. So when y'all come and try to make somebody else look stupid and try to make somebody else appear wrong, instead of fact checking and doing your research and making sure you actually know what the fuck you're talking about, you guys spew talking points that don't make no damn sense. Like the talking point of me having dinner with Bill Haney. What kind of sense does that make when I'm not even a boxing channel? Bill Haney would not gain anything from paying me, having me go to his dinners, because I'm not a boxing channel. This is not a boxing channel. You know what I'm saying? And if I tried to start it to be a boxing, if I tried to change this to a boxing channel, it would not work. Because this channel is already shadow banned to the 20th degree. That's why the only thing I do on here is live streams, where I'm talking randomly off the top of my head. There's no production value. Have y'all gone through my videos? There's no production value in my videos at all. I'm sitting in the truck, I'm doing rucking. If I'm not sitting in the truck, I'm rucking. If I'm not rucking, I'm sitting in the truck. I might sit at my table or my desk every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But when I show y'all receipts, guess what I show y'all receipts on? My other phone, right? Now, back in the day, I did videos, you know, on StreamYard, and I shared my screen, and I went through all kinds of evidence to prove something that I was asserting. But, you know, I've done that before. Y'all go back in time in my videos, go back a year or two, 3 years, you'll see that. But for the most part, because this channel is fucked anyway, I don't put a lot of production value into it. So a boxing channel, if I wanted to start a fitness channel, if I wanted to start a how-to channel, I would not use this channel. I would start a completely separate channel, and I would direct y'all over there. This channel is, I mean, this channel is whack as fuck. Real talk. This channel is whack, right? I'm just saying shit off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? I'll be rambling, changing the subject. You know what I'm saying? There's no scripts. I just go with what's in my heart and what's in my mind. That's what I go with. You know what I'm saying? Some people like it, some don't. Some people, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. This channel is not for that. This channel is not for anybody to sponsor me, right? This is not a sponsorable channel. You're not going to gain any traction. You're not going to get any, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to happen for you trying to pay me to do anything on this channel. So it is what it is, y'all. And by the way, you know, Ryan Garcia loves his niggas, right? Yeah. Ryan Garcia loves his niggas. That's what he said on Twitter anyway. He said that on Twitter. Oh, I love niggas. I love my niggas. Oh, yeah. Ryan Garcia is jumping out the window with that type of shit, right? And what did he share? He shared something that said, oh, something to the effect of, you know, a nigga is just a guy you didn't send to the ER or some shit. He's pushing the envelope, y'all. He's stepping out there. Ryan Garcia has lost his shit. So those of y'all black men and women that support Ryan Garcia understand that his spaces to spew hatred for black people. You know, the way he was hyping them up. Oh yeah, say this, say ER, say ER. Oh yeah, tell him about this, tell him about that. Don't back off of him now. Ride for him harder. That's what I want to see. Fuck it, man. Y'all done already jumped out the window for him anyway. So y'all might as well continue the descent. So go ahead. Go ahead, Fanon. Go ahead, Showbiz, the man child. Go ahead, South Sucker. Here I got to get to stretching and all that good shit. So y'all stay up, man. Y'all practice common sense. Practice fucking critical thinking, right? Study what logical fallacies are and how not to use them. All right. And that's all I got to say right now. But much love, like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.